Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, successful maiden flight for first production Global 8000. Pentagon announces acceptance of B747 from Qatar. Scouting America re-debuts Aviation Merit Badge. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Successful maiden flight for first production Global 8000. Bombardier announced that the first production Global 8000 successfully completed its inaugural flight from its assembly center in Mississauga, Ontario. During the flight, the aircraft performed a series of production test procedures and manipulation of all flight controls with test pilot Sandro Novelli. The maiden flight is the latest landmark in Bombardier's Global 8000 program, and the aircraft exceeded expectations in flight testing. The first production aircraft will be sent to the company's completion center in Montreal, where the interior will be installed prior to its scheduled entry into service later this year. Stephen McCulloch, Senior Vice President of Engineering and Product Development for Bombardier, said, quote, "This first production flight marks yet another successful milestone for Bombardier's Global 8000 program, and we are very pleased with how the aircraft performed on its maiden journey." After the break, Bell shows off its virtual FLRAA prototype to the Army.
I'm currently using the Hartzel Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartzel's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Bell shows off its virtual FLRAA prototype to the Army. Bell Textron recently demonstrated a virtual prototype of its future long-range assault aircraft designed as the MV-75 to the U.S. Army. This will be the first tangible product from the 6-year-old FLRAA program. The virtual prototypes are so-called digital twins of the FLRAA weapon system, allowing the Army to prepare tactics, techniques, and procedures for the aircraft ahead of its delivery. They will later be converted to flight training devices with user feedback being used for design improvements along the way. Wisk and NASA partnered to develop IFR-Capable autonomous aircraft. Boeing-owned Wisk Aero recently signed a long-term contract with NASA to research the integration of autonomous aircraft under IFR. This is an expansion of the partnership established in 2020 to explore autonomous UAM operations. Wisk Aero is developing one of the U.S.'s first all-electric self-flying air taxis. Its prototype design, called Cora, is a 2-passenger eVTOL vehicle powered by 12 independent lift fans. It has a top speed of about 100 miles per hour and an initial range of approximately 25 miles plus reserves. Blue Origin announces crew for NS-32 mission. Blue Origin announced the crew that will fly on its upcoming New Shepard NS-32 mission. Crew members include Amiet Medina Jorge, Dr. Gretchen Green, Jamie Ailman, Jesse Williams, Mark Rocket, and Paul Jarris. NS-32 will be the 12th human spaceflight for the New Shepard program and its 32nd overall. The launch date has not yet been announced, but as usual, the live webcast on Blue Origin's website will begin at T-30 minutes. President and Defense Secretary announce Golden Dome missile defense plan. President Donald Trump and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced the selection of an architecture and the initiation of planning to build a state-of-the-art missile defense shield called Project Golden Dome to intercept threats from space such as missiles, drones, and hypersonic weapons. The system will involve deployment of advanced technologies across land, sea, and space to include space-based sensors and interceptors that will fully integrate into existing defense systems. The president says he expects it to be fully operational by the end of his term in January 2029. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Pentagon accepts Boeing 747 from Qatar. The Pentagon announced that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has accepted a Boeing 747 from Qatar that will be used by President Donald Trump after the Pentagon performs upgrades to include, quote, proper security measures and functional mission requirements, according to a statement from the DoD. What was not said was whether the administration had paid for the aircraft and referred questions about the transfer to the U.S. Air Force. Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, Prime Minister of Qatar, said, quote, this plain story is a Ministry of Defense to the Department of Defense transaction that is done in full transparency and very legally, and it's part of the cooperation that we have always been doing together for decades, end quote. Troy Mink, Secretary of the Air Force, said, quote, the Secretary of Defense has directed the Air Force to basically start planning to modify the aircraft. We are postured to do that, end quote. A spokesperson for the Air Force said, quote, as directed by the Secretary of Defense, the Air Force is preparing to award a contract to modify a Boeing 747 aircraft for executive airlift. Details related to the contract are classified, end quote. After these messages, Scouting America re-debuts Aviation Merit Badge.
Meet the first of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits with more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged four-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Welcome back. Scouting America re-debuts Aviation Merit Badge. Scouting America, previously known as Boy Scouts of America, has updated its Aviation Merit Badge, allowing the youth to explore everything from aerodynamics to industry careers through hands-on education. The badge is now the first in the organization's collection to feature an interactive online resource guide. Though the organization had already offered an Aviation Merit Badge, it was given a massive makeover that makes it practically unrecognizable from the prior version. It has a completely new list of requirements, paired with the digital resource guide and workbook to provide a streamlined and visually captivating path to earning the badge. The highlights of the former Aviation Merit Badge aren't going anywhere, however. Scouts will still build miniature planes, get the option to take a real discovery flight, and learn principles of flight. Under the updated process, Scouts will begin by learning about the history of aviation and the milestones that made the industry what it is today. They will then dive into concepts of flight, including the 4 forces of flight, types and uses of airplanes, navigation and flight planning, weather, air traffic control, and safety regulations, before exploring career opportunities in all parts of the industry. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.